Hello guys and happy Tuesday. So in today's video it is a little bit different because I realized in my previous budgeting videos I've always showed my budget at the beginning of the month, telling you guys how I'm basically going to budget my money, but I've never actually done a video at the end of the month showing you exactly how I was when it came to budgeting, or whether I actually ended up overspending or anything like that. So I thought this would be an interesting video just to show you guys like how exactly we have done for the month of July. So if you're new to my channel, then you may not know that recently I got married, so we've actually combined our finances and we obviously now budget together. So if you haven't actually watched our budget video for the month of July, definitely check that out if you haven't already. I will of course link that up here for you and in the description below. But essentially what I wanted to do is just have a look at our budget and see if there are any areas that we actually ended up overspending, and also identify whether we actually overspent in the month of July as well. So yeah, I'm quite excited for this video, and obviously this is relatively new. I haven't really done this before, so if this is something that's maybe useful for you, please let me know in the comments below, because I will happily do other videos like this in the future. But if not, then let me know in the comments as well, and this will be the last time I do it. So yeah, quite excited to see how we did for the month of July, and let's just get to it. So this is the budget template that I tend to use in all my budgeting videos. So if that's something that you're interested in and you like the look of my budget and you would like to purchase it, you can of course do that. So I will link that in the description below. You can get it from my Etsy store, and you can actually get a monthly budget template which includes your net worth statement and a sinking funds calculator, or you can also get my weekly budget template as well. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. But in terms of our budget, what we tend to do is we actually tend to lay it all out on the spreadsheet, and then what I will do is take all of the numbers from the spreadsheet and actually allocate that to the relevant different bank accounts that we have, and also our budgets as well. So in terms of our saving and investments, that actually went all okay. So for me, the one thing I will say is I will always pay God and myself first, and that's the same for myself and my husband. That obviously didn't change. So essentially we were able to put £1,500 into our savings, and so again that's saving up for a property, in case you are new to my channel and you didn't know, because I remember someone did comment asking why I actually just had the £1,500 in savings. It's not just saving for the sake of saving. No, we actually have a purpose to save our money. So in case you didn't know, that's the reason why. And we were also able to put £100 each in our stocks and shares ISA. So essentially that is how we invest in the stock market. So in total, £1,700 actually did go towards our savings and investments, which is amazing. And then with the essential bills category, this is relatively easy for us because we do have fixed costs. Now what I would essentially do is I will actually add that onto our Monzo account, but what we essentially did is we actually created a separate pot for our essential bills. And the reason why we do that is because obviously we already know how much is going to be coming out for our essential bills, and we just want to have that money to the side, make sure we have enough money to pay for those bills so that we don't actually have to worry about anything. And even if we do think we might end up overspending, it doesn't really matter, because essentially our bills are paid for and our savings and investments have already been taken care of. So that's essentially how it went this month. And to be honest, again, with our bills, they're pretty much fixed costs anyway. So things like rent, water, electric and gas, they were all the same, council tax as well, and also our phones are fixed costs as well. In terms of petrol, what I'm actually going to start doing is putting that under our spending category. So obviously petrol I do see as an essential bill, just because my husband actually travels to work and so he needs to pay for petrol. The only thing is that it kind of confuses me a little bit, because in Monzo it's actually under spending, so I just got a little bit confused this month. So what I'm going to do next month is actually put petrol under spending, but obviously it's going to be a priority and we're obviously going to have that in the budget. But essentially we didn't actually overspend on petrol this month either, so that was £80. And actually just looking at the Monzo account, we spent exactly £79.82. So that is pretty much, again, almost a fixed cost. I mean, I don't know whether we may need to spend a bit more on petrol next month, because it's summer and we may be using the car a bit more often, but at the moment £80 is quite good for us, which I'm very happy about. And obviously our tithes, charity and giving, they were all taken care of as soon as possible as well, like literally as soon as we got paid. So yeah, essential bills is pretty much all the same, and yeah, no overspending in that area, which is great. And if you're liking this video so far, then please do give me a thumbs up, as you probably already know the drill, but it does support the channel and it's also free. So really I want to spend a bit more time on spending, because this is where usually things tend to fluctuate a little bit. So just looking at the spending category, obviously we had budgeted around £165 for groceries first. So just looking at our budget now, so obviously I can see this through my Monzo account, and obviously I'm aware that actually we do have a few more days left of July as well, but to be honest I don't really think we're going to be spending any money for the rest of the week. We're mainly going to be working from home for the rest of the week, so I don't really think, again, we will be spending that much money. But in terms of groceries, we did actually end up overspending. So we obviously budgeted around £165. We actually ended up spending £180 instead. So if I actually divide that by the 5 weeks we got paid, that ended up being about £36 a week, which isn't actually that bad because I would typically say we spend around £30 to £34 a week. So it is just over, and to be honest, a big reason for that is because we actually ended up having family over, which meant that we had to buy more food, and we ended up making Nigerian food, which is a little bit expensive with some of the ingredients that you have to buy. So obviously I didn't really take that into consideration when I did my budget, but this is why I say that no budget is going to be perfect, no budget is going to be amazing. Even my budget, you know, things change all the time, but actually overspending by about £15 isn't really that bad considering that we used that money to again pay for our family for a big meal. So I'm actually too fussed at that. I actually thought we were going to go over by a bit more, but you know, £15 isn't bad at all, in my opinion anyway. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, I've overspent by £15, that's horrific, but you know, each to their own. It is personal finance for a reason. But then moving on to toiletries, so we budgeted about £30 for toiletries. We actually underspent in that area, so we actually only ended up spending £20, which is great. So I'm actually going to update my spreadsheet so we can start to see how the numbers change in terms of whether we've overspent or not. So groceries, £180. However, with toiletries, obviously we only spent £20. And this is actually why I love budgeting, because even though I may overspend in one area, I will probably underspend in another area, and it almost just cancels out. So I'm never really too bothered if I end up overspending in some areas, because I don't want to be so restrictive and feel so bad, especially because I know that I've already paid myself first and I've already paid my essential bills. So for me, I think £20 is obviously good. And then in terms of our spending, we allocated about £100 each. So if I just look at my own personal account, I actually have £19.81 left. So I actually think that's pretty good, to be honest. So in terms of my personal account, I would say about a third was on eating out, so I spent about £34 on there, and then the rest was just kind of general stuff and a bit of travel as well. So I didn't really spend that much actually. So you know, to have £18 left in my personal account is great. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with the rest of the money. Maybe I will treat myself, who knows, but I'm pretty proud that, you know, I've still been able to save a little bit of money there, which is always a good thing. And then in terms of date night, so we basically spent the full £60. To be honest, I think maybe we should increase that a bit more actually. So I'm wondering whether it should be maybe £80 or not, just to give us a bit of leeway. But essentially we spent the whole £60. So that was, I think we got one takeaway, and then we also went out to a restaurant as well. And in terms of the restaurant, I think it was £33. So, you know, not too bad, but I think, yeah, we probably will increase that maybe going forwards, maybe in August, I'm not too sure yet. And then in terms of personal care, this is actually another area where we did end up underspending, so we didn't actually overspend, and that was probably because I didn't actually utilize this month, but I will probably do that next month. But in terms of personal care, we actually only ended up spending £15 this month. So again, we've got some money left over there. And then in terms of miscellaneous, so that was our general, we actually ended up spending all of our miscellaneous money, so that was again £40. I'm even trying to remember what we actually spent it on, but I think there were a few things that we still needed to buy for our flat. So yeah, we just spent the whole £40 there. And then obviously we put the rest of that change in pennies, and we haven't actually spent our penny jar at all, so that's essentially been paid. So in total we ended up spending about £528.48. So obviously that means that we actually ended up underspending overall by about £20, which actually is reflected in our joint account. So we do have some money left, which is happy days. I mean, we might treat ourselves to a takeaway, you know, before payday this week, but I'm quite happy actually that we've been able to stick to our budget. And as I say, obviously there are some areas that we overspent in, but then there are some areas that we actually underspent in, so I'm actually not too bothered. Yeah, I think it's been a good month. Again, there's a few days left, but we've got £20 left. Again, I don't think we're going to be buying much. If not, we will just use the remaining £20 to maybe buy a cheeky takeaway, so I'm very excited about that. If you would like me to do these videos in the future, definitely let me know in the comments below. But apart from that, if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, how did your budget go for the month of July? I do post every Tuesday and Friday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on Friday.